Morning starting at 6 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on ESPN2.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN.
Start your morning right with Ironclad Coffee Roasters and Baking Company, the official coffee of Fitz the Bill and ESPN Richmond. They have fresh artisan pastries made from scratch daily in their own in-house bakeries to go along with some of the best coffee in RVA. 3 locations, one in Shockoe Bottom, one in the West End, and one in Lynchburg. Check them out too online at ironcladcoffee.com. Fitz the Bill is powered by Ironclad Coffee Roasters and Baking Company each and every morning.
Richmond, it's time to get your morning going. Spicy Mom.
We are going to wreak havoc.
The only thing I am thinking about is the game.
Holy catfish! Touchdown, Seahawks!
Rashid Shaheed. Richmond Sports Talk by Richmond sports fans. This is Fitz the Bill with Jack Fitzpatrick. All live from the capital of the Commonwealth, where sharp analysis, your cause, and Richmond always come first. If it's making headlines locally or nationally, we're breaking it down. Now, live from the capital of the Commonwealth, Fitz the Bill with your host, Jack Fitzpatrick.
LeBron James is a 76er. Breaking news out of the NBA. LeBron James is taking his talents to Philadelphia.
Yeah, breaking news here on First Take. According to Shams, LeBron James is signing with the Philadelphia 76ers on a 2-year, $8 million deal. This comes after more than 20 days since he announced that he will be leaving the Los Angeles Lakers.
It's my turn. I'm back after a vacation off. We're back with some massive news, and it's my turn. LeBron James is a 76er. I know this is what they call old news, right? It happened Friday at around 11 a.m. while I was on vacation, so I haven't really had a chance to talk about this utterly fantastic move by Philadelphia. And now it's my turn to give Philly its flowers after I have been able to sit with this for, the past 70 hours or so. But just let that sit for a second, right? LeBron James is a Philadelphia 76er. I promise you, no matter how much free agency speculation you consumed the last few weeks, I consumed a ton of it. You didn't really have this on your board. I had Philly as my second favorite team to land LeBron behind Cleveland. But Cleveland, in my mind, was a 99.9% chance of getting it done. I really didn't have Philly on this board. 2 years, just $8 million. And listen to how he framed it in his tweet, because this is the whole story, right? Quote, "This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What am I really playing for at this point? I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete to win and to have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship." He's talking the talk. He's walking the walk. And when you actually run the math on his options, this is the decision that makes and made the most sense, because the West was never happening. Not with the Spurs and not with the Thunder sitting right there. You go out West and you're playing for either a play-in spot or maybe a spot in the second round of the playoffs, not a title. He just went through that with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's why he decided to leave Luka and Austin Reeves. So the East was the only conference he was going to. And then you look around the East and the teams that LeBron was linked to. Miami, they've got real question marks. How's that spacing going to work with Giannis and Bam? Cleveland's got real question marks, and reports have started to come out that LeBron really wasn't the biggest fan of Donovan Mitchell. But you know who has and had the least amount of question marks relative to talent on the floor? Philadelphia. This roster, as currently constructed, has the best starting 5 in the East, and it's not particularly close. And I already know what's coming. The questions of who's stopping this team. Oh, the 69 games Joel Embiid is going to miss. Stop right now, because today Embiid is the least important player of the starting 5. This team is Tyrese Maxey and Jaylen Brown. That's the engine. Then you layer in VJ Edgecombe and now LeBron James. and you're asking Edgecombe and James to complement Maxey and Brown, plus you can add a little cherry on top, name Joel Embiid. Embiid, whether he plays 13 games or 60, he's just a nice bonus at the end of it all. Maybe they add a little depth at the 5 over the rest of the offseason, but that's a nice to have, not a need to have. This group has the talent to sleepwalk into the playoffs as a 5 or a 6 seed. Doesn't really matter because once they're in, they've got a talent advantage in every single one of their series. And we all know by now, right? Home court doesn't really mean what it used to mean. The current 2-2-1-1-1 format has completely changed the math of it all. And lower seeds are making runs every single year. A 5 seed is not a death sentence for this team. It might be exactly where the 76ers want to be. And I've started to see it from analysts around basketball questioning everything about this move, like Sam Quinn from CBS Sports. And he actually put it perfectly, actually, even if he didn't mean to, because he tweeted out right in the aftermath of this trade, "I'll admit I'm struggling to wrap my head around this. It's a weird team. Everyone needs the ball. Embiid's health is what it is. The regular season defense is going to be meh. But I'd be terrified to see that top 7 in a playoff series." He walks it back with the last line, and that's the whole point. The last sentence of that Sam Quinn tweet is the bet LeBron is making. And for anyone still struggling to wrap their head around it, did we already forget the season that literally just happened? LeBron willingly stepped into a tertiary role for the Lakers behind Luka and behind Austin Reeves. He adjusted, then he helped the Lakers win a playoff series out west as the elder statesman in the room, taking over the primary responsibilities. Over in Philly, what did we just witness this last season? Something we seemingly all have forgotten in the last 70 or so hours. Joel Embiid handed the keys to Tyrese Maxey. Embiid watched his own role shrink and accepted it. And you can even look at what Embiid himself said about Maxey's growth, not just on the court, off of it. This is a guy who was the MVP, Joel Embiid, the literal face of the franchise, face of the process. And he was publicly saying someone else runs the show now. Embiid acknowledged how terrific both Maxey and Edgecombe were in their leadership and growth as the Sixers moved into an offseason built around the young backcourt, not around him. And it's not just talk. You go back to that poor start for Philadelphia. Maxey, one of Embiid's closest friends on this team, confronted him directly about being late, about dragging the locker room down. Embiid took it, and Embiid grew from it. So, yeah, everyone needs the ball, right? Quote, unquote, everyone needs the ball, sure. But this is a team that has already proven it can morph into whatever shape it needs to be. And LeBron has proven to be a player who can shape into whatever he needs to be. And the final facet to all of this, he was never going to please everybody. It doesn't matter. So if you're going to make a move at 41, make it a splash, make it a move to win a championship, make it a championship caliber swing. And already people are lining up to tell you that this hurts his legacy. And here's what I got to say to that. If you don't believe LeBron's legacy is one of the 2 greatest in the history of this league, and folks, you know where I stand on this. He ain't number 2. Before this move, nothing he does now is going to change your mind. So stop hiding behind legacy. Just say what you actually mean. You don't like LeBron James because he threatens Michael Jordan. You never forgave him for the decision, despite the fact that the city he supposedly spurned has since let it go, and he brought them a championship in epic fashion. Statistically, LeBron is the most dominant player we have ever watched, and he has done it over the longest stretch of time. Period, full stop, end of argument. This move doesn't add to that or subtract from that. It's already settled. So what did he do? He went out and he picked the best roster in the right conference for the best shot at a finals run. And now he's chasing something nobody's ever done, not even MJ, a title with a 4th different franchise. I like this. As you could probably tell, I like this a lot. It makes sense for LeBron. It makes the Sixers better. And Philly, if he delivers them a championship, it's funny. We remember LeBron in a Cavaliers uniform. We, of course, remember him in a Miami Heat uniform. If he wins a championship in Philadelphia, we'll remember LeBron James, the Sixer, I think, before we remember LeBron James, the Laker. despite him being in Los Angeles, the longest amount of time of any of the teams he has played on. Lakers fans never really fully embraced him. If he wins a championship with the Sixers, that city is going to embrace him unlike any other. And that's how Philly works. Win and they're yours forever. And of course, the inverse is true too if this goes sideways. But I don't want to open up Pandora's box just yet. This is a good, correct basketball decision, and that is right in line with LeBron James's career. He makes the good, correct basketball decisions. And on the side note, can we talk about the Timberwolves fans for a second who really thought they were going to get LeBron even for a brief second? Because the reaction out of Minnesota has been objectively hilarious. Great team, great roster, but like we said earlier, it was the East or nothing. He was never going west. If LeBron was going west, he would have just stayed in Los Angeles. And the fit in Philly is simply better than the fit in Minnesota. Maxey, Brown, Edgecombe versus LaMelo, Ant, and Gobert. Because let's be honest, LaMelo is a walking rolled ankle. If he goes down, LeBron's your number 2 option. And an Ant LeBron James duo is just not winning the title, especially when they've got to go through the West. Now, I love what Anthony Edwards said because LeBron reportedly called Anthony Edwards, talked it through with him, and asked, if I don't go to Minnesota, are you okay with that? And he said, it's all right. I'll just tear your head off. I love Anthony Edwards. I love that type of mindset. Where you look at Philadelphia, they can lose Embiid for half the season and still win a title with LeBron, Maxey, Brown, and Edgecombe. Embiid was never the piece that made or broke this entire thing. That's the difference. That's why Philly wins the summer. So far, Philly wins the offseason. I love this move. It was utterly fantastic. And I imagine Alan's got some similar thoughts on it too. Alan probably loved it and thinks LeBron James is the greatest to ever play basketball now.
Chat.
Hey, Shaq can do all they want. Shaq can do it all.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for those post game updates.
LeBron will actually go on Jaylen Brown's stream. Jason
Tatum will too, man.
Yeah, they'll have a good stream. I'll be watching every second of those streams. Jason Tatum, meanwhile, he's throwing pot shots at Jaylen Brown over there.
You ever seen Forrest Gump? I'm sure you have.
Of course.
Yeah, I'm like Lieutenant Dan when they had the celebration, just sitting there and
the New Year's Eve.
Yeah, confetti's around me and stuff. I mean,
so is half of Philadelphia sports radio.
I guess. Look, and I only say I guess. I'm not knocking the move because, again, I'm on team. LeBron is so old. He has done so much for basketball and for his career. If he wants to, air quote, ring chase, he can do that at this stage, right? Like, I support this more than I supported the whole Miami thing, right? Like, I'm perfectly fine with this. You're 42, bro. About to be 42 in December. Yeah, go get with the team that gives you the least amount of work to get to that ring.
And like, if it is ring chasing, I don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care. Go win.
Again, at this stage in his career, if Durant wanted to do it, if Curry wanted to do it, actually, I openly question why Curry is still in Golden State.
I openly question it every single day. Yeah. KD, and this is different from the KD move to Golden State, right? Like,
it is.
That was a entrenched contender, a championship level team who had won championships without KD. KD's, what was it, Thunder at the time, got up 3-1 and then blew that series, and then he went and joined Golden State, a team that had won championships in the past. Like, this is so different because this team has not been proven. Yeah. Maxey, Brown, Edgecombe, Embiid has not been proven as something that can work. Now you add LeBron into it, and I think it's going to be a fascinating breakdown. And apparently they went out, they got KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, shore up a little bit of that guard position, add a little bit of guard depth. I think Philly, they're not going to have this berserk good record, but what they're going to do is they're going to dominate in the playoffs. This is a team built for the playoffs.
Yeah, they just need to win, man. And by win, I mean, they don't need to be chasing the 72, 73 win season. All that nonsense. Just win.
Secure yourself as a 5-6. Honestly, I think they can just don't be in the play-in. Yeah, and they can win the championship.
Yeah, for them, just get to the playoffs and then take care of the rest. And
you could bench Embiid for 80 of the 82 games this season. You will still win enough games to be a 5 or a 6 seed. You bring Embiid in fully healthy in the playoffs. He's your X factor.
Yeah, if we can move Embiid the furthest down the depth chart for need, that'd be fine. The less he has to do, the better off they are.
In my mind, Embiid's the 5th option.
Yeah, I mean, in a perfect world, they probably would love to have him as the 5th option just because he's just not dependable as far as availability. But there was something you said earlier, I think we need to address and just face it as facts. His tenure in Philly, if he wins the championship, will be remembered more so than anything he did in LA.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to set you up here, but I think it's because what he did in LA just wasn't good enough in comparison to all the other greats who've been in LA. Like, they're multiple win champions. You got Shaq and Kobe got their 3-peat. You got Showtime Lakers. Like, they had a massive run. Like, those were accolades that in his wildest dreams would have been amazing for him to accomplish. But that bar is so high as a base level.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not even mad at that.
I also think when he went to LA, he knew that he was never going to reach those heights.
Yeah, you'll never be Kareem and those guys.
You'll never beat them. But also, he was inheriting a team that was one of the worst teams in the NBA for like the 5 years prior. And I'm not trying to besmirch Kobe when I say this, but even the last couple of years of Kobe, the Lakers were never contenders. The Lakers were abysmal. The only reason Kobe dropped so many points in his final regular season game was because they had no one else to take the shots. But like, that's the core of it. He decided to go there, and Lakers fans, they want championships because that's what they've been bred to think they need. But LeBron resurrected that entire franchise. If it wasn't for LeBron, they wouldn't have Luka right now, and they wouldn't be set up for another decade of success. I do agree, though, that his Lakers tenure is not looked at favorably, especially with Lakers fans, because he was viewed as replacing Kobe. He won a championship.
Which, is funny. He never wanted to replace Kobe, man. Yeah, he idolized Kobe more than anything.
This is going to sound a little bad, but like, I think the death of Kobe hurt LeBron in LA, because I think if Kobe was around to support LeBron, he would have been looked at more favorably.
Shoot, if Kobe was around to support LeBron probably would have played a lot harder in certain spurts too, because Kobe makes you do things. Like, we got the clip of him in the All-Star game. It's infamous. Like, him telling LeBron, take the shot. Yeah. Like, that's the kind of person Kobe was. So yeah, I would imagine as a mentor, as a living image that you gotta reach those expectations, that would have put a different kind of pressure on him, and he would have rose to the occasion, I think, because competitively, nobody wants that. This the same way Kobe probably would never say this, but the majority of his career was him looking at Jordan as the big brother, and he wanted to kill that image. He wanted to be better than him. Like, that was his drive.
And even when Shaq was on his team, his drive was to be better than Shaq. Yeah. And that's probably why the two butted heads so much, and they ended up having to go through an ugly divorce.
So I don't disagree with you there at all. I just think people are there's just too much extreme takes in sports nowadays. Like, you got, like you said, some people in Philly talking about like, this man ain't gonna help anything. That's ridiculous. And then there's some people that are just looking to tear him down and putting these insurmountable expectations on a 42-year-old athlete, man. He's still good.
He's going to average 22 points a game. Yeah. He's going to be your third best scorer, and he is going to defer to Tyrese Maxey and defer to Jaylen Brown. Yeah. And it's going to work.
And I will say this too, for a legacy standpoint, this is a double-edged sword. It is the easiest route to a championship, but it's also the highest expectation.
Yeah, I mean,
because you have to win a championship with this team. You got 2 years to do it. Honestly, you don't got 2 years, because even in year one, I don't even think he gets a 5-game losing streak, and people are gonna be like, "See, I told you."
I mean, he did choose one of the more toxic fan bases,
absolutely,
in the NBA. But if he wins a championship, man,
if he wins a championship, we might Godspeed to him.
I mean, we'll think of him, Cleveland, of course, Miami, of course, and then that third team we remember LeBron with would be Philly. Because the Lakers, the Mickey Mouse, whatever you want to say about it, I will admit one thing on that championship. No fans were around to celebrate it. No fans were there to have a parade.
Nobody actually saw it, right?
If a tree falls in the forest, did it actually fall? Who knows? Did it make a noise? I don't know.
People dispute the moon landing. Why don't we dispute that championship?
Because Jimmy Butler was keeled over on the sideline breathing.
I actually used that meme the other day, actually, when I was moving my aunt out. I felt Jimmy there.
Don't we all? Don't we all? All right, let's step aside real quick. I had 70 hours to organize my thoughts, right? This happened Friday. Funnily enough, I'm on vacation, right? I had kept my phone with me when I'd go to the beach to make sure that if the LeBron news hit, I would be one of the first to know.
Man, I wasn't paying that thing no mind.
And then I took one nap on vacation. One nap. Guess when LeBron decided to break the news? right when I go to sleep on that.
The layers of channels I had to clear to convince people that it was actual news and not fake was ridiculous. I was like, Shams is literally, he's on TV talking about it. And they're still like, nah, that's not true. I was like, I'm watching him. He's on TV. Nah, that's not true. Like, what?
That's the era we're in. I do love everyone who's like, why didn't he pick Minnesota? Why didn't he pick Golden State? It's like, because he's not going west, man.
Did you notice the delay in the like Bleacher Report and stuff like that? I think because people were afraid that it was fake.
ESPN reported it like a good 15 minutes, it seemed, before anyone else had gotten it. But I fell asleep. I took a nap. So I woke up and everything had already been confirmed. So at least that was going for me, about 45 minutes late to it. But since then, I've had about 70 hours to organize my thoughts since this broke at around 11:45 a.m. Friday. I want to hear your thoughts after you had the weekend to make sense out of this move or anything else that has happened since we've been gone. We missed all of last week. We were out on vacation. We're back on this Monday morning. You know the number, 804-327-0888. The Radke Insurance phone line is open. This was the biggest thing that happened while I was gone, so I know you have thoughts on it. I'll call or text them in, and we'll chat on the other side of the break.
Fitz the Bill, Richmond's morning sports talk show. Don't go far.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
Stop smoking. Alex Goen patented hypnosis.
Totally changed my life.
It's amazing.
I don't have any cravings.
You want to quit, but have found it impossible? This is the thing for you. I have absolutely no craving. It's the darndest thing I have ever seen in my life.
It's not for entertainment. It's for results.
Do it. It works. Period.
You've tried everything else. You need to come and try this.
Why so effective? The only stop smoking method in America proven useful by the U.S. Patent Office because it reprograms your subconscious. Alex Goen breaks your connection to cigarettes, coffee, stress, driving, even other smokers. No cravings, irritability, or weight gain. Cigarettes no longer own you. Walk in a smoker, walk out free. Only $59.99 or your money back. Stop Smoking Seminar Monday, August 17th, Hilton Garden Inn, Colonial Heights, 8 p.m. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Or Tuesday, August 18th, Comfort Suites at Virginia Center Commons, Glen Allen, 8 p.m. Weight loss, 5:30 p.m. Sign up at alexgoen.com. G-O-E-N. That's alexgoen.com.
Looking for the perfect golf course? Check out RVA's best kept secret, Queenfield Golf Club, just a few minutes past Mechanicsville. Reserve your tee time today at queenfieldgolf.com.
As a fitness coach, my active psoriatic arthritis can slow me down. With Skyrizi, Risankizumab Rizza, I'm treating my skin and joint symptoms so I can keep moving. Skyrizi, a prescription-only injection for adults, helps me move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. And for those who have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible. With Skyrizi, there's no daily dosing. It's just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
If you want to talk Braves baseball,
here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park.
There's only one place in town to turn for all the action. 1061 ESPN, bringing you nonstop Braves action all season long.
High in the air, deep to left field. That's a long gone daddy.
Presented by our friends at Park and Go. 1061 ESPN traffic.
An accident is blocking off the right lane heading north on 195 just before Laburnum Avenue, causing heavy traffic backing up from Broad Street. Just be aware of some delays heading west on 64 between Mechanicsville Turnpike and 95. There's been an accident on Woolridge Road at Charter Colony Parkway, as well as a wreck on Richmond Highway near Dale Avenue.
Mornings in Richmond start here. Fitz the Bill. Back now on 1061 ESPN Richmond.
Good, that's a good choice. I didn't know where you're going to go with it. I didn't know.
I almost forgot to start it. It's Monday.
I didn't think Rocky was where you're gonna go with it.
We're gonna get that a lot. We're gonna get Meek Mill, Dreams and Nightmares.
Hey, Blue Notes.
We're gonna get all of it.
We can get all of it.
We're gonna get Freeway. Matter of fact, I'm sure LeBron's gonna grow a Freeway beard, and
you see LeBron's going bald.
They've already named a cheesesteak after him.
Good,
I think.
good.
Yeah.
You see LeBron though, he's chosen to go full bald.
Yeah,
his last public appearance, he went full bald.
I think we're all headed that way at some point, unfortunately.
Hey, no, they say baldness skips a generation.
That's what they say.
I'm going full white before I go bald. My hair's already turning white, and I'm 29.
Yeah, the grays are back.
Yeah, I got gray beard. I got gray hair. I got a gray, not even gray. I've got full white. It's bad.
It's the job. It's stressing me out.
Yeah, I mean, it's all this LeBron stuff we got to cover.
LeBron James. Can't get rid of the guy.
It's too much. Look, I'm very hard on the Philadelphia Eagles. That is known. If you're a Philadelphia sports fan.
But you're going to switch it up for the 76ers.
Hey, 76ers, they get a round of applause. They get a round of applause. You know why?
Bruce, call back. I missed your call, and I'm calling you out specifically because guess what? I'm not switching up. Not there.
Look, here we went into this offseason, and what did the 76ers have? The 76ers had Tyrese Maxey, great player. VJ Edgecombe, great young player on the ascent. Joel Embiid and half of a good knee with him. And they got a 36-year-old Paul George who is playoff P. You know, he was pushing P. He wasn't doing too much there with playoff P.
I'm bringing it back
now.
We're not letting that go.
They're on fire. The 76ers are on fire.
Yeah, it's funny now.
They've turned Paul George into Jaylen Brown. Had to give up next to nothing for Jaylen Brown. And now you get LeBron James. And Jaylen Brown and LeBron James are set to make a combined $61 million per year. Paul George was set to make $54 million per year. So you're saying for $7 million more, you get a better, younger player and LeBron James. Woo-hoo! Good for you, Bob Myers. He went from Golden State's got to feel sick. They let Bob Myers walk out the door, and guess what he's doing now?
Bob wanted to leave. Bob is enjoying just being a hired gun to turn. He's basically
the Commanders around.
Yeah, he's basically like this generation's Jerry West.
Kind of, yeah.
Like everything he touches wins.
So far, the 76ers haven't won on the court, but man, are they winning in the offseason.
I mean, I can't criticize any of the advisory role personnel moves that he's made or anything he's done as a general manager of any sort. Like he knows his stuff. He does his research.
I feel really bad. I say that tongue in cheek. I never really feel bad for Boston Celtics fans or anyone who's a fan of any Boston-based team. I don't feel bad about them at all. But you know, Brad Stevens, he's about to catch a lot of heat if the 76ers beat the Celtics. Not even if the 76ers win a title. If the 76ers beat the Celtics again in the playoffs, because what the 76ers do this last season came down from a 3-1 deficit to take down the Celtics. If the 76ers win a playoff series, win against the Boston Celtics, whatever it is, Brad Stevens may be fired.
Brad Stevens, you can avoid it by just losing to the Miami Heat or somebody.
You ain't wrong. you see that second round matchup coming.
Yeah.
You see that Eastern Conference Finals matchup coming. You just throw the series. Because let's face it, Jaylen Brown's trade directly led to them signing LeBron James. LeBron has said it. Rich Paul has said it. The only reason the 76ers were even considered in this free agency cycle was because of the trade for Jaylen Brown. So
wasn't the good eats?
Hey, we got to watch LeBron's diet because he might be loading up on some cheesesteaks here soon. D'Alessandro's is where we're coming. I'm going up to Philly in 2 weeks. We're taking a little detour through Philly. They'll accept me.
This is like literally the worst time for you to go to Philly. It's prime training camp and stuff, man.
Hey.
Optimism's high. You're going to go up there preaching Jalen Hurts isn't good.
You'll see me on, you know how there's people when you walk into sports stadiums with the big old Jesus loves you sign with the megaphone. I'm gonna be Jalen Hurts is a mediocre quarterback on the corner while I'm eating my cheesesteak. We're taking a detour while we go upstate New York, but I got to stop by D'Alessandro's. Try their cheesesteak. Pat and Gino's ain't it, but maybe D'Alessandro's.
Yeah, I've heard that.
And then maybe I'll see LeBron James there.
LeBron James.
All right, we'll go out to the phone lines here. We've got Leaf on line one. Good morning, Leaf. How are we doing?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. It's great to be a Philly fan. All in all, it doesn't matter basketball, football. We're winning right now. It's off season. We're undefeated on both teams. We're doing great.
You're not wrong. You are undefeated at this point. And Jalen Hurts, this is the best he's going to look all year.
Oh, stop that, UCLA. Seahawks fan.
Hey, I can say it until the season starts. We're still the Super Bowl champions. And once the season starts, I got to respect the guys who make me respect them.
Hey, it's all right. I was born in Virginia, and I moved up to, South Jersey. I just fell in love with Philly. I went to, an amateur hockey game, and ever since then, I've just been hooked with Philly. Everything Philly.
I think you might be the first person who has said you moved to Philly and then fell in love with the city of Philly. That's impressive. No, Philly is a beautiful city. I actually do enjoy it. I just don't enjoy their quarterback play right now, and people think I just legitimately hate Philly, but it is a beautiful city.
Well, of course, I was on the LeBron James thing. I was going to comment. I haven't watched basketball in God knows how long, but this year I might actually watch it. Friggin', since Jordan retired, I haven't really watched basketball because I was doing military and traveling. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I hear y'all dog him. He is the winningest quarterback I've ever seen in my life. And yet he still doesn't get to shine. I've seen year in, year out, different coordinators. He changes his game to adapt. I've never felt, even with Michael Vick, I've never felt with Wentz, anybody, I feel like we can still win a game. We could be down 10, 14 points. I still feel like Jalen can do it.
You're not wrong. And he plays his best in big situations like the 2 Super Bowls, winning one of them. But he does have huge limitations in his game. He refuses to throw over the middle of the field. I hear what you're saying. He's a winner. He's got the X factor. I understand it. But I just got to see consistency out of Jalen Hurts. And as of right now, and look, actually on this station, Matt likes Jalen Hurts less than I do. So I just want to throw that out there. The resident Philly fan likes him less. Leap, appreciate you calling in. Enjoy watching basketball this year. Glad LeBron's getting you to turn into some NBA games.
Okay, cool.
There goes Leaf. Appreciate Leaf calling in. We're going to keep it out on the phone lines. We've got Bruce on line 2. Good morning, Bruce. How are we doing now that you've had the weekend to come to terms with the fact that LeBron really is a Philadelphia 76er?
Good morning, Fitz. Good morning, Alan. Welcome back, guys. Fitz, of course, even with vacation, Alan still came in the afternoon some days. But it is what it is. Guys, so let's try to put this in context. And what I mean by that, we have lived, Philadelphia fans, 76ers fans in particular, we've lived through the process. And, as I stated to Matt on Friday, this sort of gives a sense of regalia after the process. Hey guys, so much talk in Philadelphia right now. Joel Embiid has added 15, 18 pounds of muscle. He has stated he is in the best shape of his basketball playing life. Joel Embiid has stated that. Okay, you can take it for whatever you choose. The one thing we cannot deny is the upward growth of Tyrese Maxey, the upward growth of VJ Edgecombe, the draft picks, the movements that have been made since the new regime has come aboard in 76ers land. We cannot diminish, or should we should not diminish those attributes. 76ers go into the 2026-2020 season full of optimism. And that's where we are with adding probably, many people will say, an all-time great to the mix. And I get the age and I get the years on the tread. I get all of that. But the one thing you're not going to say about LeBron James, none of us are going to say this. LeBron James brings a level of education to the 94 feet of hardwood.
Yeah.
And so that's what we're getting, guys. I get, hey, man, as I stated, we're winning a chip in 2027. I plan on being in South Philly in June of next year. But the fact that we're not going to deny is the level of education that LeBron James will bring to this team. Not only on the court, as I said, 94 feet of hardwood, but he's going to also help Joel. You will not see Embiid after every play fall to the court. He's going to tell Joel, you don't need to do that. Get back on D. He's going to put Tyrese, Jalen. So I haven't even brought up Jalen Brown. He's going to put these guys in spots, not only on the offensive side of the ball, but on the defensive side of the ball. So, Philly could easily win 65 games next year. Easily. And could be the number one seed coming out of the East. All of these things are speculation at best, but they could be. And I think there's a renewed sense of, hey, man, we've gone through this process. Let's see what's going to happen next. My final statement to you and to Al and to ESPN, this station covers the Atlanta Braves exclusively in basketball and baseball. This station covers, I believe it's the Cowgirls in football. I would love to see ESPN 106.1 pick up the 76ers because there's another station that has the Wizards. I would love to see that, guys. I mean, and so that's just my last piece on this.
I love it, Bruce. Appreciate you calling in. Have a great rest of your Monday. I'll let Alan try to go to work about getting the 76ers on the airways. Yeah, tough legality stuff and all the marketing and whatever. Only reason we got the Braves, just to real quick take this tangent, only reason we got the Braves is because we used to be the Richmond Braves in Richmond. Technically, the Braves.
I won't let it go.
If the Braves ever left this market, they would not be allowed to re-enter the market.
Yeah.
That's just how it is because of all the baseball rules.
Yeah, Braves only have Richmond and Roanoke. And we're not the station for the Cowboys anymore.
Is this the time for a big announcement?
Yeah, I know, right? Like, we are the station for the Baltimore Ravens.
Whoa,
yeah,
really?
Yeah, we just have not done the imaging yet to put all that out. But
crazy.
Just so
we had Morgan Wallen tickets.
Yeah, just so we could get that in before everybody runs with it. You'll still hear Cowboy games. We're going to try to make ourselves the station for the NFL, so we should cover at least 28 of the 32 teams throughout the season, but primarily this is your home for Baltimore Ravens football all season long this year.
I love it.
Yeah.
Well, what a way to break that down. I want to touch on a couple of things that Bruce did say there, where he said they could be a 60+ win team, could be the number one seed in the Eastern Conference, and he's not wrong, right? Like that core, that starting five of Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jaylen Brown, LeBron James, and Joel Embiid, if all stay healthy through an entire year, easily can be the one seed in the Eastern Conference. But this is the beauty of this move. They don't need to be the number one team in the Eastern Conference going into the playoffs. They can be the 5 or the 6. Just avoid the play-in at all costs. Be the 4, be the 5, whatever it is, because it has been shown time and time again over the last 5 or so years that home court advantage just isn't what it used to be, especially with this new 2-2-1-1-1 format where the higher seed gets the first 2 games, the lower seed gets the next 2 games, and then they rotate one-off games from there on out until the series is decided. That's kind of thrown out a lot of this quote-unquote home court advantage. So, yeah, they could be the number one seed, but they don't need to be. And the fact that LeBron is there for, let's say, 2 years, might just be 1, but it might be 2 years because the second one is a player option because in the most LeBron James fashion, he's got to keep the drama going all season. Is this going to be his last year? Is this the last time we're going to see him in Washington? Is the last time we're going to see him in insert team here? Look, he brings such a level of education. I said it in the opening monologue. This is a good, correct basketball decision, and LeBron James's career has been defined by making the good, correct basketball decisions. This is just another in a long list of the correct basketball decisions. He's going to bring that to this locker room, which frankly did need that because it was a locker room that was going to try and have to figure out who's going to be the guy. There was a lot of volatility in this locker room. And there still is volatility in this locker room. But they bring in an elder statesman who has been there before. He's been atop the mountain. You bring in a Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and he's a guy that's won a championship before, kind of as the 5th, 6th, 7th string guy on a team. Like, You're starting to bring in a little bit of that veteran leadership to kind of hopefully steady the waters. And, oh, by the way, you've got a guy, Bruce said it, a lot of tread on his tires. But guess what, Alan? I just got new tires a couple of weeks ago. And you know what I was still able to do on my old tires that had a ton of tread not left on them? Still able to go fast.
I don't think that's safe, though.
Hey,
just putting it out there.
It ain't safe. And that's why I had to get it checked. I had an inspection coming up, and I knew that they probably weren't going to. I shouldn't say that. I got new tires. We're all good. I've got a ton of tread on them. But the ones that didn't have a ton of tread left, you know what? I could still go 5 over the speed limit.
And you can rotate those bad boys.
And you can rotate them and keep them going.
Yep.
And look, just
Balance
because
them
the
and all
tire
those
doesn't
good
have a lot of tread on it, don't mean it doesn't still run.
Yeah,
That's all I'm going to
you
say.
could even rotate it out, make it the spare tire. You never know.
All right. That was such an unneeded shot. All right,
But look, seriously, though, you touched on a lot of points. Like, I'm not going to accept them not being a top 3 team. They don't need to be one. But they need to be at least
they don't need
3.
to be top 3, though.
I just
they
think
don't
with,
need to be.
with the talent on the roster alone, like it would
all right,
be.
they're the 5 seed. They win the title. Are you really mad at that?
No, but I'm
It's like
I'm-
Ohio
It
State
depends
losing
on
to
how they
Michigan,
get
but
to
winning
that
the national
5 seed. The Ohio State thing, we were hypercritical of them losing to Michigan,
And then they won the
And
national championship,
yeah.
and we shut up.
Yeah, we were still critical, and
Sure.
Michigan still talks about it.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, But I
Big Blue.
I think it's gonna matter. Like the one thing that needs to be said that I think matters the most for this team isn't necessarily health. It's LeBron and Nick Nurse working together, because you got a guy that people know, he knows his stuff, but you got a coach who knows his stuff too. If they can blend and work together, then definitely magic is going to be happening here. But if we have an issue, I'm telling you right now, if Nick Nurse can't survive this as a coach, there's nobody you're going to bring in that's going to be able to work this in the middle of the season.
What was the last player coach we had? Maybe LeBron revitalizes that. Maybe he could.
I think it was like Bill Russell.
I think it was.
Right?
I want it mattered.
I want to say it was Bill Russell.
Was it Bill Russell or was it a Supersonics player? I think the Supersonics
Maybe it was
at one point.
We'll Google it.
Yeah, we'll Google it in the break. Let's
Before
get a
our
quick-
time.
way before our time. Let's get a quick break in. Step aside. It's the return of News or Snooze coming up next.
Richmond's only local morning sports show. Fitz the Bill. Back soon.
Tune in to the Henrico Huddle with Dennis Bickmeyer the last Wednesday of each month, afternoons on 106.1 ESPN, or updates online at henricosea.com.
Are you suffering from a sports injury, chronic pain, or something that just plain hurts? Ortho Virginia can help get you on the road to recovery. As the state's largest provider of orthopedic care, Ortho Virginia's team of specialists offers surgical and non-surgical treatment options. With 12 offices conveniently located in the Richmond area, visit orthovirginia.com or call 804-915-1910 to discover why at Ortho Virginia, stronger starts here.
This is advertising material. Dump trucks, delivery vans, tankers, 18-wheelers, 35 types of commercial vehicles share the road with you every day. When one hits you, trust me, the company's lawyers are already moving. You should be too. Over $2 billion recovered. Alexander Chenard trial attorneys are ready to fight for you. Call 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law for your free case evaluation. Don't wait. alexwins.law.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George's licensed attorney in Virginia is responsible for legal work. Office is located in Norfolk.
106.1 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN. Streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
If there's one thing you can count on, it's 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto insurance with Progressive. And if there's two things you can count on, it's your smoke detector battery dying at 3 a.m. Not 3 p.m. on a Saturday when you have nothing going on, but in the middle of the night when you're fast asleep.
Oh, come on.
Get 24/7 protection when you bundle home and auto with Progressive. Just one more thing you can count on. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different.
Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
We're the best team in America. I think houses should burn. Really? Should we start with yours? You idiot.
We are back, baby. We are back. We are back. We are back.
The Golets are back. Returning August 3rd, 10 to noon Eastern on ESPN Radio. 106.1 ESPN weather.
We're expecting extremely high humidity today with a mix of clouds and sunshine. Highs will be reaching 85 degrees later this afternoon, and we're expecting overcast skies tonight with lows dropping down to 70.
Richmond's morning sports talk. Live, local, and back on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Fitz the Bill. Powered by Ironclad Coffee and Baking Company. News.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Or snooze.
Had to get ready, man. I haven't done news or snooze in like what, a week? Because you were doing it down at the ACC tournament.
Yeah,
ACC meeting.
yeah. So I've had to. I'm handing news or snooze back over to you here on this Monday, July 27th. After what? A lot of days of being different. We're back in the regular flow of
Can
things.
LeBron and Jaylen Brown work like that?
Yeah, probably can. I'm just gonna say it. Probably, even though that Jaylen Brown disrespected Bronny.
Yeah, and I don't like that you started with Niners news, but it is newsworthy.
It's very newsworthy.
Forrester oversees 49ers practice on men Shanahan nearby.
Newsworthy.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
So you got thoughts on this? Do you want to start your thoughts before I go into my rant on this entire situation?
Yes. Thought number one is obviously anytime no matter how much I dislike somebody personally, when it comes to sports, I don't wish ill on anybody. So hearing Kyle was in an accident, but also finding out he's okay, he's got a concussion, and nobody else was seriously injured, relief, right?
Yes.
Like happy that happened. But
happy that he's okay, not happy that it happened.
Happy that he's okay, not happy that he was in an accident. But man, I didn't clip it because as I always say, I never look at news or snooze before we do it. I like to be surprised. But man, John Lynch, man, before he did a press conference, and if you want to instill confidence in people who are not familiar with Chris Forrester, he didn't do a great job of it. In fact, Forrester in his post-practice, I think, press conference, kind of like chuckled about it, laughed it off, but it was borderline disrespectful, man. Like he questioned if the guy was able to like analyze, and I'm like, well,
Lynch did,
like
I didn't even see this.
Yeah, it's the way he said it. He said, so I'm just reading from the ESPN article, but it said Lynch expressed a bit of doubt about Forrester's ability to handle the team breakdown at the end of practice. So. And they're trying to play it off like tongue in cheek.
Yeah, like
haha. Yeah, but the way the dude was talking was crazy. I'm like,
John Lynch kind of.
Why'd you put him in that spot then if you're going to openly question whether or not he's able to handle it?
You got a lot of coaches that are right there on that staff that could probably want to do something like this. And then
I don't want Raheem Morris doing it.
John Lynch has said a lot of things this offseason that have been questionable.
Absolutely.
Like the one with Brandon Ayuk saying he's never playing another game again in a 49ers jersey. You just lost all of your trade chips right there. Like you lost all your leverage, but it's just crazy.
But Trent Williams spoke for Forrester because he knew him from the Commander Redskin days. And obviously Kyle has known him for a long time.
Yeah.
All reports sound like everything went smooth there. Kyle was there for 30 minutes and then had to leave. I don't know if that's recommended with concussion protocol.
Severe. So the accident that he suffered on July 14th that wasn't reported until July 25th, a broken nose, broke 3 ribs, had 40 stitches in his face, broke his hand, and he suffered a severe concussion. Yikes. And it took 11 days for that to come out, despite it all being public record.
He's going to come out and motivate the guys like, look, if I can take a hit from Aaron Donald, you can too.
And they're like, that was Aaron Donald that did it to you? No, but same thing. Same thing.
Pretty much.
But like, here's the thing that I have on this and why it's newsworthy. Because no one reported on this for 11 days. Mike Florio of Pro Football Talk did raise an interesting question. Why was this kept quiet for 11 days? And why did it seem to be a coordinated effort between San Francisco and NFL, ESPN media to announce it? San Francisco, the 49ers, they announced it at noon on July 25th. ESPN had their tweet and their story up within 3 minutes of that announcement, which leads you to believe they already had it prepped and they were waiting for San Francisco to make the first initial announcement. And this gets to a larger question at play with beat reporting and sports reporting at large. And I do want to say at the onset of this, like, I'm not perfect. I understand casting stones from a glass house, but I do try to have some sort of reporting bone a little bit in me. I want to keep the teams and players I cover accountable, tell their story, good, bad, great, or ugly, right? But in 2026, with team social media, YouTube, in-house writers, teams got their own content machines. Teams have realized that they can easily control the narrative and tell their own stories. So beat reporters aren't really as important as they used to be. So teams have realized beat reporters are really only there to keep them accountable. So why have them? They can impose now harsher rules and harsher punishments on beat reporters because you can kick a beat reporter out and still tell your story in the way you want your story to be told. No longer are you, the team, reliant on a beat reporter giving you coverage. Because I'm not sure everyone out there realizes, but if you do something a team doesn't like, pro or college or even high school to some extent, the teams can just revoke your ability to cover the team. Like if you do one thing out of line, they can just say, all right, bye. You don't get access to the team at all for the rest of the year. And with so much in-house content being made, with so many blogs analyzing the teams, with so many radio shows and podcasts and everything, the market, let's face it, is being saturated. So you losing the access to create content won't be missed. Because if you're a beat reporter and I can no longer read your articles, well, there's a million other articles I can read. So it's not like it was 20, 30, 40 years ago. And so now beat reporters and sports reporting kind of on this grander scale have to listen to the teams a little bit more so teams can really control what messaging is getting out, and teams can get away with harsher and harsher punishments and force reporters to do essentially what they want. And I think that's a huge issue that's happening right now within beat reporting and sports reporting. And this story is a great example of that.
Revolution, power to the people.
I don't know how you get power back. That's the issue of it all.
I'll always do what I feel is in the best interest of our listeners. And if that costs me access, then so be it. But that's just me. And also our market and our size isn't like New York and things like that, where they're literally codependent on those professional teams. We have some flexibility down here, but I agree with you. I think it is a little strange how they kind of gatekeep information, and there's an extra layer of clearance you got to get through nowadays before you report something. I wonder if the Tony Romo stuff also kind of made them slow down this news as well, because Romo had
Romo got
DWI, OWI, yeah. So there's like,
I don't even know what OWI. I think it was an OWI.
Operating while intoxicated. Yeah. So there was that news, and then
DUI, DWI, OWI.
Yeah. So they try to control it a little bit when it comes to the negative stuff nowadays. So I don't know, man. But I'm just, again, I'm happy that nobody was hurt.
Yes, exactly.
Cavs at X lottery pick Hezonja after Euro stint.
You don't remember Mario Hezonja?
I do remember Mario Hezonja. I just was making sure I said his name right. But also,
extremely newsworthy.
Yeah, like what?
Did you see Shams?
I thought we were
reporting
getting
about
LeBron.
this? Did you see Shams reporting about this?
No, but I thought we were getting LeBron. Who's this guy?
So Shams tweeted like a day before LeBron announced, and he was like, a couple of NBA writers tweeted this. And they were like, the Mario Hezonja sweepstakes is on hold until LeBron decides what team he wants to play for. I'm sorry. Your consolation prize for losing out on LeBron James is a failed lottery pick who had to go play the last couple of years over in the Euro League to try and recoup some of his value.
If you want to get good, you go to China and hang out with the monks.
Apparently, he's been balling out over there in the Euro League.
Which Euro League we talking about?
He won the Euro League championship in 2024 with Real Madrid, was named the ACB League MVP this past season. He was drafted in 2015 as the number 5 pick. So he's also not young, trying to make his return to the NBA.
That's like a
good luck.
That's like a guy that's on one of those like 10th year eligibility things.
Yeah, truly.
All right, so Real Madrid, I you know why that popped up in my head? Because Luka played for them. I remember.
Oh, okay. All right.
So if he played for a team that had Luka, I guess
they're fine. All right, what's the last one?
The last one, Corey Haim wins Brickyard 400 net second career Cup Series victory.
Very newsworthy. Because grand scale, 1,000-foot view, something, in my humble opinion, NASCAR has been so desperately missing. And there's a lot of things you can point to as to why NASCAR has seen its popularity dip year over year over the past 2 decades. Rule changes, blah, 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 whatever it is. What'd you say?
Parody?
Is it parody? It could be. It could be a lot. I mean, there are a lot of things. But you zoom out. One of the things I think why, I remember watching NASCAR in 2004, 2005.
Takes me back.
And thered be the Gillette Young Guns commercials where it'd be like Casey Kane, Jimmy Johnson, like all the young rookies, Kyle Busch, RIP, like all the young guys would be the Gillette Young Guns. And they'd refer to them as like the Gillette Young Guns when they'd be racing. Who's a Gillette Young Gun on the grid right now? You didn't have any up until like the last year. Now you've got Corey Haim. He has 2 wins this season. Corey Haim has 2 wins. You've got Carson Hocevar, who flipped off Corey Haim in this race. And then Carson Hocevar, a little tongue-in-cheek after the race, said, I knew he was going to win, so I wanted to congratulate him first by showing him the number 1. He showed it to him with his middle finger.
That's a good one.
But, like, you've got these young guys now that are coming up. Connor Zilic, who's racing in the 88 for Trackhouse this season. He's been severely underwhelming, but let's face it, all of Trackhouse has been severely underwhelming. Ross Chastain was in the Final 4 just a handful of years ago, and now he can't even crack the top 10. Trackhouse equipment has been abysmal this season, and I don't blame Connor Zilic for having a rough rookie stint. It's reported now that Connor Zilic will move into the 48 after Alex Bowman retires at the conclusion of next season. A lot of moving parts, but you've got a lot of young talent. And Corey Haim winning is great for the sport. Carson Hocevar being a martyr is great for the sport. Connor Zilic in the next 24 months moving into a Hendrick car is great for the sport because they need the Gillette Young Guns to make a return. We no longer have the Jimmy Johnsons. We no longer have the throwbacks to the Casey Kanes, the Kyle Bushes, Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano. The young guys, the old guys have taken over the sport, and now it's time for the young guys to reclaim the sport like they did 20 years ago. And I love that Corey Haim won the Brickyard. And I love that Carson Hocevar flipped him off. Hocevar got trapped the lap down after Haim ran the stage long, buzzed Haim's car on pit road, flipped him off out the window.
Road rage in NASCAR.
I love
awesome.
it. I love it.
Hey, look, we got a tweet of the day. Is LeBron going backwards on Fresh Prince, Bel Air to West Philadelphia? That's from our guy, TJ. I got to give him a shout out because that made me laugh.
Yeah, from West Philadelphia, born and raised.
Well, he's going from Bel Air.
I know.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Huh. I didn't even think of that.
Y'all can't even get that right. All right, LeBron James fans.
LeBron got it wrong. Also, we're noting real quick, Todd Gilliland, somehow he won the in-season challenge. Shout out to that guy. The guy you probably didn't even know the name of.
Who?
Yeah, that's a who. That is a good who. Gilliland won $1 million winning the in-season challenge because Ryan Blaney crashed late in the race, finished 26th. But yeah, I mean, he's doing the reverse Fresh Prince. Shout out to him. Mike Golick Jr., his show, The Golicks, debuts next Monday. He's joining us next.
Catch every game at Star Hill Beer Hall and Rooftop with award-winning craft beer, cocktails, and brew pub bites. You can eat, drink, and enjoy local at Star Hill and Scott's Edition.
1061 ESPN on-air interviews presented by the Herman Allen Plumbing Heating and Cooling Hotline with Lennox products that make the air in your home absolutely perfect.
Golf season is here at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. Plan your next golf outing for your kids' athletic team, church group, or fundraiser online at huntinghawk.com. That's huntinghawk.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life sleep.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 1061 ESPN. You're listening to the second hour of Fitz the Bill on 1061 ESPN.
Welcome in hour number 2 of Fitz the Bill right here on 1061 ESPN Richmond. I'm Jack Fitzpatrick, Allen alongside here. Appreciate you clocking in, making us part of your morning as we are joined now. Mike Golick Jr., co-host of The Golics, which debuts right here on ESPN Radio on August 3rd. Set your alarms now, 10 a.m. next Monday. Mike, good Monday morning. How are we doing today?
Doing well. Appreciate you guys having me, and thanks for the kind intro.
Oh, of course. That's what we're paid the big bucks here to do here on ESPN Radio. I do want to start there because it just feels like the natural segue, making the move back to the ESPN Radio airwaves with your dad. You guys have been doing shows on FanDuel, DraftKings the last couple of years. What does it mean to now make the move back to ESPN Radio?
Yeah, I think there's an exciting comfort there. One with, a place where, certainly my dad has such a legacy already and has been such a massive part of building ESPN Radio and audio into what it is now. But, also a comfort level with the people we're going to get to do it with. Sports about great teammates. And we have so many people on the production side in that office in ESPN Radio who we know and who know us. And so getting to walk in there and get ready to do a show with people we have so many hours under our belt with is great. And then, connect back with that audience. You guys know this radio is such a different, intimate medium than some of the digital stuff that we have been doing. So to get to hear from callers, to get to connect from people in a way that was a hallmark of so much of Dad's career, so much of my early career is something we're pumped about.
That's awesome. Should be. I'm excited to tune in. We'll be wrapping up the show, and I'm excited to tune in and listen to the debut next Monday. I do want to turn the attention back to football because we just got back. Well, we took last week off for vacation, Mike, but then right before that, we were at ACC kickoff, some ACC media days, and it always puts me in the college football mindset because you're around so many of the coaches, the players, and you're just feeling the pulse of college football. And the talk kind of among Radio Row at ACC media days was, can the ACC, after getting Miami into the national championship, kind of put together a good season this year and make a run at the Big Ten and the SEC as a premier P4 conference? Do you see the ACC being able to build upon the momentum of having Miami in the national championship this upcoming season?
I mean, I think they'll be able to build on it in that I think Miami's going to be back and competitive on that same plane this year, with what they've already returned in a guy like Malachi Toney to then bring in Darian Mensah and Cooper Barcate. Along with all the defensive transfers, that's a team that's up and running and humming. Mario Cristobal's got that thing working overtime. looking after that, because part of what you mentioned, pushing those other conferences is equally about, all right, hey, trying to get a national champion. That's what everyone's vying for. Miami was painstakingly close this last season, and to be able to crack into that hide where the Big Ten's won 3 straight and the SEC dominated the decade beforehand. But it's also about the depth of talent and the depth of quality in those leagues. And listen, if you're the ACC, you can tout, hey, the team that made it to the national championship couldn't even make it to the ACC championship with us. Our league is so dang competitive. But, it's can you get another consistently productive year like that from a team like Virginia? Can SMU bounce back to the form that you had in their first year in the ACC where they made the college football playoff? Is Clemson going to turn back into the old Clemson, or are we dealing with too much of a transition there? And so, you're the ACC. You had Clemson to hang your hat on for so long as that high watermark for the conference. Now, can Miami continue to take up that mantle, be that consistent force in the playoff? And can the rest of the conference rise to meet and challenge them in a way that does start to mimic those Power 2 teams that we've seen?
Mike Golick Jr., co-host of the Golics, debuting on ESPN Radio next Monday, joining us here on Fitz the Bill. You mentioned, we talked about Miami there. Of course, the team that they painstakingly lost to in Indiana was picked 3rd in the Big Ten preseason poll behind Ohio State and Oregon. Is Indiana being disrespected a little bit heading into the season, or is the Big Ten just that good?
I think the latter. I think, the Big Ten's that good, and you look at the way the schedule lines up, so many of those good teams are going to have to play each other this year in a way that makes it fascinating. Like, I'll go all the way back to IU's first year on the scene with Curt Cignetti, where they made it to the playoff, but as everyone talked about, hadn't really played as robust a schedule in the lead-up. That won't be the issue. The other part is, all right, well, you lost your top 2 receivers and 2 of the most productive players in the country last year, in Omar Cooper Jr. and Elijah Surratt. You lost the Heisman Trophy winner. You lost both great running backs in your backfield that were a huge part of that. And you lost some of the core guys that come over from James Madison and helped Curt Cignetti set this foundation. And so while you portaled incredibly well, you brought in, Zach Hoover, who I think is a really strong quarterback. Everyone's talked about the turnover stuff. You bring in talent, you're starting to stack it in ways that you never used to in recruiting. It's all online. I just think this is a reflection of how much talent has come back in some other teams like Ohio State and Oregon, and how robust that Big Ten slate's going to be this year.
So with the SEC Big Ten kind of being the 2 premier Power 4 conferences, right? You've got now the Big 12 and the ACC. Comparing the Big 12 to the ACC, which conference in your mind do you think is built better from top to bottom?
From top to bottom becomes interesting. I mean, I could make a strong argument. I'm fortunate to call games in the Big 12 for TNT. And I think for both teams, right, you have that team that right now sits in terms of talent on the upper crust. It's Miami in the ACC. And then you look in the Big 12, it's Texas Tech now. They obviously had a snag at quarterback that they did not anticipate this offseason. With everything that happened there. But I think that team talent-wise built to run. Then you've got that next group down for them. BYU could be one of those teams that with the volatility at quarterback for Texas Tech steps up in year 2 under Bear Bachmeier. They're able to keep Kalani Sitake after the Penn State overtures this offseason. There's a lot of momentum in Provo right now. Their neighbors over in Salt Lake are going through a big change with Morgan Scalley taking over, but that was always the plan, and that program, the stability, the hallmarks, the defense, and the offensive line that you're used to knowing, I think are going to keep them competitive. And so you look up and down the Big 12, which was known for so long for cannibalizing itself and these crazy November runs where anyone can beat anyone we saw 2 years ago. But I think now they've kind of solidified into, all right, we have a few real good top teams. We've got a few teams lurking in the midst, the Arizonas, Arizona States, Kansas States of the world. And so I think right now I would say the Big 12 and the ACC right on par. But in terms of teams that I believe, could be a legitimate threat to be a potential CFP team in the 12-team expanded field, I could argue maybe the Big 12 has maybe just 1 or 2 more that I would buy right now.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, but Miami might be the cream of the crop between the 2, but the Big 12 might have a little bit more depth in what they've got going on. Because I talked about at ACC Media Days, the talk was, can the ACC make a run as kind of the quote unquote premier P4 conference? The other question was like, who besides Miami? And you touched on a little bit more, like the depth just isn't totally there for the ACC compared to the Big 12, who feel like they've got a couple CFP real legitimate contenders.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what it is. I mean, for everyone, right? The charge for all these commissioners in the Power Four conferences that are trying to catch those two that you mentioned is, can we get enough lottery tickets? Can we get enough entrants into the party with how we structure our conference championship game, with the way that works out, but most importantly, with the talent and quality in our leagues? You want as many opportunities to try and unseat these programs, that we see. Hey, the SEC is always going to get a handful of these guys. The Big Ten appears to be in that same mode right now, the way that we view and think about these conferences. And so you guys know part of that, and it's becoming more and more rare, is the early season out of conference matchups that, you got different programs in those big two conferences starting to talk about, hey, maybe we don't do these as much. We're going to 9 conference games, yada, yada. So it's an interesting time to try and be a team or a conference looking for upward mobility, because in a sport where the scheduling is this disparate, you always kind of relied on those to be your comparative points. And we might be losing those because everyone's worried about how they look to the committee at the end of the year, because they've spent the last 2 years griping about strength of schedule metrics and so on.
Isn't it fun? And as a JMU alum, you get your JMU Virginia Tech game that you've had circled on the calendar for the last 15 years, because that's how college football schedules, and it gets taken away 10 months before the game happens. I digress on that point. But Mike Golick Jr., co-host of the Golics, debuting on ESPN Radio next Monday, joining us here on this Monday morning. I want to quickly transition over to the National Football League here, Mike, because there's been a couple of big storylines swirling. Patrick Mahomes just cleared after his ACL, LCL or PCL, one of the CLs he injured as well. He just got cleared to return to practice. But the big one I want to start on is this guy over in Los Angeles named Aaron Donald. Not sure if you've heard of him. He's been rumored to return. Do you think he returns? What does it take for a retired guy like Aaron Donald to return back to the NFL?
Well, there's a retired guy, and then there's a retired guy like Aaron Donald. So I'm glad you mentioned that important caveat, because we've seen this is the only guy still buying himself dumbbells for his birthday post-football. So he's done the work of staying in shape, and I think doing that. But, he's still a guy that's in his 30s now, and your body responds differently, as I can attest to at this point in time. So I think what it takes is exactly what the Los Angeles Rams have right now that he'd be walking into, which is other guys to rely on. You go over defensively, you reshape your secondary, you bring in Myles Garrett in the offseason. So you've got the dogs to go run for Chris Shula during the year. You're bringing Aaron Donald in to be the closer down the stretch, maybe of the regular season, but more than likely it's, hey, we need you here for the postseason run. We need you in shape, having taken a few hits by then, so that all of a sudden, when push comes to shove in the fourth quarter of a playoff game, we can throw you and Myles Garrett out on the same side for a TE game that scares the living daylights out of every offensive line that they could possibly face. So I think the ask there in terms of the volume of work is low, but it's about what Aaron Donald, I think, was always best at. And certainly, what he cemented himself as during the Rams Super Bowl run with him and Sean McVay was, hey, I can come in and shut the door when you need it on the other team's hopes and dreams.
And I know this is a really broad, open-ended question. Aaron Donald hasn't even announced that he's returned. We don't know what he'll be like. We don't even know what Myles Garrett will look like in a Rams jersey. But that leads me to the biggest sports radio question ever. How good could this defensive front be with Myles Garrett and Aaron Donald if they're both playing well?
It's terrifying. One of the best we've seen in recent memory. I mean, you're talking about two players that, again, Aaron Donald will not maybe be the full version, but I heard this from Mina Kimes the other day on her podcast, which is awesome, that Aaron Donald, when he left football, the year he retired, ESPN has a metric called pass rush win rate, where it's how often do you beat the offensive line in under 2.5 seconds is kind of that marker. Aaron Donald, I think it was at least among interior defensive linemen in his final season where he decided, you know what, I'm ready to retire, give it up, was number one. He was still doing it at an incredibly high level. So if it's anywhere even close to that, you bring back two guys that have a claim to be the best at their position for an era as outside edge and interior defensive linemen, and put them on the same line of scrimmage with a defense that up front already had a bunch of really young, impressive players that they had been stockpiling. Obviously, one of them gets shipped to Cleveland in the trade with Myles Garrett, but it's got a chance, along with, again, and we haven't even really spent a lot of time talking about that secondary that's been remade to help work in tandem with a pass rush that just puts so much pressure on opposing quarterbacks and offenses.
Mike Golick Jr., co-host of the Golics, debuting on ESPN Radio next Monday, August 3rd, joining us here on Fitz the Bill. Mike, we're here in Richmond, Virginia. We always keep an eye on what's happening up 95 just a ways with the Washington Commanders. A poor 2025. They do a complete overhaul with their coaching staff. Their QB coach goes over to Stanford. He's now the head coach out there with the Cardinal. You've got a new OC, new DC. Is that what it's going to take for the Commanders to return to that 2024 form?
Yeah, and I mean, I think that and a little bit of luck in terms of health, but, your offense is going to look a little different and reshape. I think at times under Cliff, what had happened, and we know early on he beat those allegations about what his offense turned into late in the season, especially that year one with Jaden Daniels, but I think it maybe started to put a little bit too much pressure on your quarterback to be the guy doing the thing at all times. And so now you bring in David Blau and you say, all right, we'll try and figure out how to manufacture a few more shots in play action, do some of the stuff that's a little more in vogue around the rest of the league and, help out our incredibly talented player and not asking that talent to will out overall. You certainly need defensive improvement. There's no two ways about that when you look back at the numbers in production last year. And, you got some interesting additions in terms of the guys on the edge and Chason and Oweh that I liked in their respective locations before. And I thought those prior staffs had started to get the best out of those guys. So can you do that there now with the opportunity along with some of the guys like Luvu and company that were still there?
I love it, Mike. Really appreciate your time on this Monday morning. Have a great rest of your week and look forward to tuning in on Monday, August 3rd for the Golics.
Thank you, guys. Really appreciate it.
Of course, there goes Mike Golick Jr. Mike Golick Jr., Mike Golick Sr. teaming up on ESPN Radio. The Golics, a new morning show from 10 a.m. to noon, will debut next Monday, August 3rd. Be sure to set your alarms now. It's going to be a fantastic show. I've been tuning in to Golick and Golick when it was on DraftKings, when it was on FanDuel. Now they make their return over to ESPN Radio with the Golics, 10 a.m. to noon each and every weekday right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. All right, we'll get a timeout, and then we'll be back with Say What? And, of course, it's still on the Philadelphia 76ers and LeBron James. That's coming up next.
You're with Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond this morning. Short break coming up.
Bonaire Shell is family-owned and operated and has been serving the Richmond community for over 20 years. At Bonaire Shell, you'll find old-school service with modern-day technology, and our certified technicians will get you back on the road in no time. Stop by for a quick fill-up, shop for new tires, ask us about a check engine light, or let us help with any of your auto service needs. Find us at 8762 Huguenot Road near the historic Bonaire section of Southside and online at bonaireshell.com.
If it don't flow, then it don't drain. If it backs up every time it rains, remember, if it's not working, call Gherkin.
Back in 1976, there was no Angie's List or Google reviews to find the best plumber in town. You'd go ask your neighbor, and around Richmond, they'd tell you call Tommy Gherkin. Today, you can go online and see Gherkin Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling's hundreds of 5-star reviews. And if your neighbors have used Gherkin, you can ask them too. You'll find that even though Tommy Gherkin's plumbing company has grown, their rapid response commitment and dedication to fixing your plumbing and HVAC issues right the first time hasn't faltered a bit. So you know what they say, if it's not working, call Gherkin, 741-6630, or visit GherkinPlumbing.com. After 50 years, Gherkin Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling has stayed true to their roots. They've just grown a bit, and the reviews online now too.
Remember, if it's not working, call Gherkin.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You play for the win, not just on game day, every day. Channel that drive into your money. Robinhood puts you in control, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast, 10 a.m. to noon every Saturday on 106.1 ESPN.
Presented by the Racing Biz.
Enjoy local at Star Hill Beer Hall and Rooftop in Scott's Edition. Catch every big game on indoor and outdoor TVs or on the rooftop bar with a cold drink and city views. Try Star Hill's award-winning beers, craft cocktails, and brew pub bites while watching the game or at our monthly events like Comedy Night and Sunday Crafters Market. Meet your friends, catch the game, or make a night of it when you eat, drink, and enjoy local at Star Hill Beer Hall and Rooftop.
Tune in to the Henrico Huddle with Dennis Bickmeyer the last Wednesday of each month, afternoons on 106.1 ESPN, or updates online at henricosea.com.
Earn an accredited MBA in as few as 16 months for about $21K at University of Maryland Global Campus. Explore 10 specializations, including finance, HR, cyber technology, and more. Plus, showcase the value of your MBA with a comprehensive learner record and digitally demonstrate in-demand skills and credentials to employers. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Your coffee would never get cold. Your flight would always be on time. And your mattress would always respond to you and your unique sleep needs. Sleep Number mattresses are designed to respond to your body and shift with your changing life, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number. To a good life's sleep.
You're tuned into Fitz the Bill, Richmond's only local morning sports talk show on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Powered by Ironclad Coffee and Baking Company.
What are you saying?
Excuse me?
What?
Excuse me?
What? Say what? What the are you saying?
What does LeBron want? I mean, as far as there was obviously had to be negotiations to get him there. And he looked at that Sixers roster and said, okay, I got a player in Maxey I can really work with. I know what Jaylen Brown can do. They love VJ Edgecombe, and Clutch Sports has been trying to get VJ Edgecombe into their fold, so that's probably going to happen now. It's just a matter of what do you do with Joel Embiid? Like, how does Joel Embiid fit into the plan there? And honestly, this may be the best case scenario, because you can get Embiid to play 45, 50 regular season games, try to limit his minutes, try not to overwork him, so he's ready in the spring, and then the Sixers can make a real run for it with a team that has a chance to go for a championship.
That was John Kincaid from 97.5, The Fanatic, saying how Joel Embiid kind of is the key to it all. He is the piece that doesn't fully make all the sense in the world when it really boils down to it. And I think what he said there at the end is the proper outlook for how the 76ers should operate this season when it comes to the Joel Embiid of it all. Joel Embiid is the fifth most important player in this Philadelphia starting lineup, and I don't think it's particularly close. He could miss a large portion of this season, and I don't think it would really hurt Philadelphia all that much because of the positional flexibility that LeBron James gives you. Oh, by the way, they signed KCP too, which I know isn't necessarily an earth-shattering signing, but it does add some depth. You can play around with some guys. You can keep Tyrese Maxey at the 1. Jaylen Brown maybe moves to a small ball 4. I mean, there's a lot of different things you can do with this lineup. And Joel Embiid, he is a nice to have. He's not a must to have. He is a key that unlocks everything for Philly, because if you're able to slot in a former MVP, a guy that is Joel Embiid's caliber, because let's not forget that Joel Embiid was utterly fantastic in a couple of games. It's worth noting that it was only a couple of games in that Boston Celtics series, but he was a key reason why they were able to eventually mount that comeback and take down the Boston Celtics after trailing 3-1 in that series. Maxey and Brown are the reason LeBron went to Philly, not Joel Embiid. But Embiid is a very important key. He's like a skeleton key that unlocks every single room in a house. That's the type of player Joel Embiid is going to be for the Philadelphia 76ers this upcoming season. But let's face it, Maxey, Brown, Embiid, all three were central in recruiting the King to Philly 250 years after Philly was central in kicking out a king. Isn't that kind of funny how that all works out? Well, nice little history lesson there for you. We got Fresh Prince going backwards, and we've got a history lesson here on this Monday morning.
I didn't coordinate that, but that was a good one.
Hey, thank you. But like, look at it, right? So Jaylen Brown, we talked about it earlier. Jaylen Brown, that trade That trade is why LeBron even thought about Philadelphia in the first place. So shout out Brad Stevens. You can think about that Jaylen Brown trade as a trade to get off of the $56 million salary of Paul George to bring in Jaylen Brown and LeBron James. Sounds like a pretty darn good trade, if you ask me. Philly wasn't on LeBron's radar at all. Shams confirmed that, said that on First Take. Rich Paul informed the Lakers, if you do a quick timeline, Rich Paul informed the Lakers on June 30th that LeBron would not be returning. The very next day, Philadelphia agreed to acquire Brown from Boston. The trade that sources later told the Dallas Hoops Journal is what pushed LeBron to ultimately sign with the Sixers over Cleveland, Miami, and Golden State. Notice, Minnesota fans, Minnesota's not even mentioned in those teams. Brown and LeBron's camp did have some beef because Jaylen Brown's old shot at Bronny resurfaced on social media this week, but they knew about that beef. And according to reports, sources say that by early July, the two sides had moved past it enough that Brown became one of the three players that was actually working on LeBron alongside Embiid and Maxey. And the Athletic's Tony Jones named Jaylen Brown specifically as one of the central figures who stayed in regular contact with LeBron throughout the entire process. Then you got Tyrese Maxey, who he was probably the core piece in all of it, because Maxey's pitch carried more weight than what a typical teammate recruiting call would be, because he and LeBron, you heard it from Kincaid, they share the same agency, Clutch Sports, owned by Rich Paul, who also has a podcast with Max Kellerman on the Ringers Network. Make that all make sense. But Maxey has referred to LeBron as a big brother in the past. And according to Hoops Hype, Maxey led the direct recruiting effort on LeBron. And Rich Paul, LeBron's own agent, went out of his way to credit this specific relationship as the thing that de-risked the whole entire move. So Brown's trade opened the door. Then Maxey is why LeBron didn't hesitate walking through it. And Joel Embiid, well, he's been working on this for the past 12 years, because back in 2014, Joel Embiid publicly tweeted at LeBron inviting him to Philadelphia. LeBron said no, then signed with the Lakers in 2018. 12 years after that first invite, though, he's finally come around to it all. If they say no, you keep at it, man. Good for Joel. Good for him.
I had to go back and look because I forgot what he said about Bronny.
What did Jaylen Brown say about Bronny?
He said, I don't think Bronny is a pro. And then he followed up by suggesting Bronny would remain with the Lakers because of his name, which is what everybody else said.
Yeah, and it's also it'll be intriguing to see if the Lakers keep Bronny.
LeBron said, they got to, I think, at least for 2 more years. I think some option kicked in.
Yeah, but you could always cut a player.
Yeah, you could always cut a player.
But you're still on the hook for his salary, of course.
So, I mean, I think that was the main reason to get him in the league. Let him get his own income.
Yeah, get him off of my credit card.
Right.
Put him on my own credit card. But then
that's such a corny thing, though, man. Like, if the guy has an opinion and he doesn't think your son's good enough to be in the league, I don't think you should take that personal, man.
And that's why they buried the hatchet. Yeah. I just don't think it really was all that big of a thing. I think it was blown, as most things are, out of proportion on social media.
Yeah, I understand the aspect of Embiid being the key, because we have 42-year-old LeBron. I'm going to just put him at 42 already. We got Jaylen Brown, we've got Maxey, we got Edgecombe. To me, if we added Embiid and we had those as our starting 5, the 2 guys I would worry about the most is probably Edgecombe and Embiid.
Yeah.
And I say that because Edgecombe has so much athleticism. It's hard to stop that if that gets going, right? Like, how do you match up with the guy that can jump through the roof, has a lot of range, can shoot the 3 from the corner and things like that? He's got a lot of versatility to his game, and he's young.
Very young.
Yes, super young. Embiid is still an anomaly when he's healthy, because there's not a lot of bigs who can facilitate, who can run the floor, and who have the touch that he has, right? If he's healthy. Everybody else, I think we have some form of an answer for.
We know what they are.
Yeah, we can figure out a way to slow them down at least.
Oh, you're saying for the I see what you're saying.
For the opposing team. Like, if all 5 are on the floor and they get going, I don't think Edgecombe has an answer just yet because of the sheer athleticism. And I still don't think Embiid has a true answer as well.
No, Embiid is the best 5. He's a top 3-5. I don't want to disrespect Jokic.
Yeah, I don't think he's better than Joker. But yeah, when he gets going,
second best.
Yeah, he's Joker-esque when he's healthy. So
like he and apparently about right around the time the trade went down to get Jaylen Brown, LeBron met with Embiid in a private sit down and was essentially just like, how healthy are you? Like, shoot it to me straight.
Yeah.
You tell me how healthy you are. And Embiid told him he was in the first surgery-free summer of his career and felt completely healthy.
Which is true.
Embiid then reportedly backed that up later on. This is according to The Athletic. He told LeBron he'd do whatever it took to get his body to a place where he could be more available consistently. Embiid, just for a reminder, has played 39, 19, and 38 games over the last 3 seasons.
I mean, LeBron, if I was Embiid, I'd also be like, bro, you play with Anthony Davis, so don't come at me like that. Like,
hey, you play with the true glass
yeah, right?
man.
Like, we're the same player, basically, when it comes to health.
You're not wrong.
I think, again, you look at a team like this, the biggest component, you want to add guys who know their roles and are willing to do the grunt work. KCP is a good start. And I will always stand on, I just worry about how does this affect VJ Edgecombe's development?
I would not worry about
Does
that.
it delay it
No.
a season or so? How are they going to slot him in with this lineup? Like, does LeBron go to the 4? Do they try Edgecombe at the 4 and run a starting 5 of essentially a small lineup?
No,
Like,
they'll go. This is how I see it happening. Maxey, Edgecombe, Brown. So Edgecombe will play the 2. Maxey will play the 1. Brown will play the 3. LeBron will play the 4, and Embiid will play the 5.
that's going to be too much running for LeBron.
Or you put LeBron at the 5 and you have Embiid sit for some, and then you can kind of play around with it. Maybe you push Brown to the 4, Edgecombe to the 3, put KCP at the 2, Maxey's the 1. I think this is going to be fantastic. Like, even if LeBron's at the 4, they'll find a way. Nick Nurse is a very, very good coach. He's a tactician.
Yeah.
We'll find a way to limit the amount of miles.
If
LeBron
I
is.
recall, Nurse did well with his lineup when he had Siakam and Kawhi.
Yeah, he did.
And
they won a dang championship.
Yeah, rotating those guys and things like
Although
that.
Siakam was hurt in the champ. But
Yeah, no, like he did the best he could with what he had, and he found a way to win. So I don't think giving a good coach more talent is ever going to be a net negative.
Especially a talent of LeBron James, who is going to be the through line of the show, always makes the correct basketball decision.
And he'll respect Nick Nurse just because, again, Nick Nurse has won the championship. I think that's very key.
Yeah.
Like, I know younger LeBron and Spo had their issues, but once they won the championship, you can kind of tell they gelled. I think is this the first time he linked up with a coach that had already won a championship before he got to the team?
Let's see. Mike Brown, David Blatt.
Blatt hadn't won a championship.
Not in the NBA.
No.
He may have overseas, but not in the NBA. Ty Lue.
Won one as a player, I think, on the bench.
Yeah.
But not as a coach. No, I mean, I'm just being honest. There's nothing wrong with that.
I know, but it just sounded like such a slight.
No.
Frank Vogel, no. JJ Redick, no.
Yeah, Vogel hadn't won his chip yet.
No,
right?
Vogel's only won a chip with LeBron.
Yeah. So
he had all the good teams with the Pacers, but he could never get over the hump.
So I mean, that's something to consider too. Maybe he comes in with a bit of respect. Which I don't think he would be difficult at this stage in his career. I believe him when he truly says in a roundabout way, I just want to win.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to win. I just want to compete.
I think that is exactly where his mind is right now. Like, sure, in the past, has it been le GM? Has it been le coach? Like, LeBron has held a lot of different hats, and he's gotten a lot of flack for doing all of that. I think truly this move, it goes back to the tweet he had announcing this. This move is to win a championship. This move is to best set himself up to have success at these last year or two of his career. We got a text in. LeBron is the GOAT, greatest going to other teams. The GOAT, he's the greatest of all time at going to other teams. Look, I don't know if this is tongue in cheek. I get it, the LOL at the end, but name me another star that has not moved teams. I bet you could count it on one hand. Every single star has moved teams at least once.
I mean, I know the guys in the NBA who haven't. I think my friend had made a post on Facebook about it, and I thought it was very well said. To paraphrase, basically, in this era, we came from an era where loyalty was paramount as a staple of basketball greatness, right? Like if you got maybe one switch, if that, right? We're okay with like Barkley going from Phoenix to or going from Philly to Phoenix. We're okay with Barkley going from Phoenix to the Rockets because of his age at the time and all that stuff. We won't complain about that. But those transitions happened after seasons, a lot of seasons.
Yeah.
The LeBron era of the Lakers was a long tenure compared to his other stops.
Yeah.
And I think that's another reason why we kind of accept it at his age and things like that. But it's always gonna bother people that he has essentially 5 jerseys, even though the Cleveland tenure was twice, right? Like, it's gonna bother people because in our mind, our all-time greats usually only get one switch, like Magic and Dirk and Duncan and all these guys that we grown up accustomed to seeing them on the same team. We don't even jump on Shaq about it for real. We don't even count that Shaq literally ring chase, right?
Shaq went everywhere. Where did Shaq go? Magic, LA, Phoenix, Boston, Cleveland, Miami.
Yeah, and we stopped Shaq typically around the Miami phase because he won that championship with D Wade.
Yeah, and then we're like, then he got fat and old.
Yeah, like we excuse it. I just think it comes with the era of, or the allure of LeBron being the best of all time or the greatest of all time in a lot of people's mind, or going after Jordan in that sense. Like, the switching teams will always be a negative against them.
It will be, and I get that's an argument I'm never going to be able to win. But to
I
me,
haven't gotten to Steph Curry, man. I'm just naming names.
No, I know.
I'm not disrespecting Steph.
And I think it really is. You can only count it on maybe a hand of like the all-time greats that never moved a team, because MJ moved a team, right? Like, I'm even counting that. We don't count that against him because he had come out of retirement, blah blah blah, and then he goes to Washington. But like, it's an argument I'm never going to be able to win.
No, and when he retires, the Steph Curry thing will come up.
But it's just so frustrating to me that it is something that people talk about with his legacy, and they forget the fact that he owns every single statistical number, the total numbers. Because one of his biggest strengths is his longevity. He has been a top 15 player in the NBA for his entire career. There has never been a time that he has not been a top 15 player. And there is no other player in the history of the league that can say they have done it at his height for so long. We have witnessed the longest peak of any player in sports history. Like, this dude has been the cream of the crop for 24 years? Like, that is insane. And yeah, he changed teams a couple of times, but I would argue that's because Cleveland in that first stint, they were poorly run. They didn't put the right pieces around him. Miami, he calls that his college years. He goes down there, plays for 4 years, goes back to Cleveland, wins a championship when they're a little bit more put together, then goes out to LA, spends a long time out in LA, and now goes to Philadelphia ring chasing. Like, you look at MJ retired from the league for a couple of seasons to go play baseball, be a failed baseball player with the Birmingham Barons of AA or whatever, of the Chicago White Sox. Then ends up going back to the Chicago Bulls, and it's an entirely new team. They've rebuilt it around him, and yet because it's the same jersey, we don't give him the same amount of flack. I just think
he also three-peated after that.
He did. I can't even front on that one. He did. But we just don't give him crap about it. We're like, oh, he's still on the same team, but he changed teams. He changed, and he did three-peat with them. So congratulations. It's just, we pick and choose, and it just makes me upset because you see the LeBron haters come through the cracks with all of this, while they can't just admit the fact that he makes the Sixers better, and they are going to be the favorites to win the Eastern Conference for good reason.
Yeah, I really don't have an issue with it at this stage in his career. I will say the whole decision thing with the Miami Heat did annoy me at the time, but at the end of the day, his legacy is tied to he needs to win championships. So we can't put that on him and then get mad at him for doing things or making moves in his mind that help him get in a position to win those championships. It's kind of crazy. It's like, all right, you can run this race, but I need you to hop on one leg and do it, though, right?
And he's never getting 6 championships. He's not doing 2 3-peats. You know what he can do? He can become the first player to win a championship with 4 different franchises.
He can
it's that
bring
simple.
a championship back to Philly. It would still be a legacy builder.
Oh man,
I don't have any. Like I said, at the end of the day, it doesn't make me upset at all.
Yeah.
And as the Texas said,
Steph needs to leave Golden State. Yeah.
And we talked about that several weeks ago when Draymond opted out and they went and re-signed Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, then they did all that.
Like, dude, leave.
And they're going to bring back Draymond and everything. And like, that's the thing too. Like, I think we are in an era where we understand that teams also need to be held accountable for putting good teams around their stars, which Golden State did for a long time. I mean, they're one of the most dominant franchises for a decade, right? But like, now they haven't been putting the necessary tools around Steph. Awful. Probably because Bob Myers is now in Philadelphia.
It's awful, bro.
Like, they've not been able to do anything. And Steph now now it's like a knock against Steph that he's too loyal to Golden State. But I think that's also the other part of it too, where people talk out of both sides of their mouth, where they're like, well, players need to go where they're blah. It's just the whole thing.
If I was Steph, I would have went out and talked to Joker and be like, yo, where can we go?
Denver.
Like,
go to Denver.
Yeah, I would just team up with him. I have no problem with these dudes in the twilight of their careers doing what's best for them to cement legacy things. Like at this point, you've made KD. Even KD, heck, you've made all the money you're going to possibly make. Like, I remember people making that a big deal about LeBron. How much more money can he make?
And I love that about LeBron because he's backing up what he said, right? Like, I want to go win championships. And what did he do? He took a veteran minimum deal. Yeah, people were like, there's no way he's doing that. No,
what's the point of adding
a couple
more
hundred
millions?
When you already got all the millions in the world, you're one of the richest athletes of all time. You've got one of the most lucrative shoe deals.
He's even got ownership investments, like in the
he's
EPL
like
and things
Liverpool
like that.
stuff. And guess what? Guess what isn't less than now because he signed with Philadelphia? His shoe deal is nothing less. If anything, his shoe deal is going to be more because it's just opened up an entirely new market. And all those kids in Philadelphia are going to be wearing the LeBron 18s or whatever we're on now.
So again, at this stage in his career, I don't care, man. If this was probably a decade ago, I would probably be ranting and raving.
Yeah. All right, let's get a quick break in. Step aside. We'll be back with more Fitz the Bill here on this Monday morning, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
You're listening to Fitz the Bill. Don't touch that dial.
Catch up on the latest horse racing news with Off to the Races live broadcast 10 a.m. to noon every Saturday on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by the Racing Biz.
Looking for a great spot to stop by for great food and cold beverages? Make Shepherd Street Tavern your new go-to destination. Frosty craft beers on tap and Cajun-influenced menu specialties such as crab rangoon deviled eggs, barbecue tofu bites, or our signature Devil's Triangle hot chicken sandwich. Now under new management with the same laid-back vibe indoors or outside on the patio. Shepherd Street Tavern is located at 2922 Park Avenue in the Museum District. Check out our Facebook page for the latest specials.
Well, it's official. My friends have all switched to Pure Talk because I told them they could save a bunch of money on a super reliable high-speed network with unlimited data. And because they're my friends, they trust me. As for the rest of you, well, Pure Talk understands that even though you might like me, you're not just going to take my word for it, nor should you. For that reason, and for a very limited time, Pure Talk is offering any of their plans for just $15 a month for the first 3 months, including their top-tier unlimited plan that normally sells for $65 a month. Think of it like a test drive, a super simple way to save $150 while you kick the tires on Pure Talk's blazing fast network, and a fine way to see for yourself why I switched from big wireless, along with a few 100,000 of my closest friends. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and be connected to Pure Talk's friendly U.S. customer service team. Again, dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and let the savings begin.
Summertime in RVA means one thing. Golf season is here. If you're looking for the perfect golf course, head over to Queenfield Golf Club, located just a few minutes east of Mechanicsville. Queenfield offers a beautifully secluded 18-hole course, spacious driving range, and professionally maintained practice greens and bunkers. Schedule your tee time today by calling 804-769-8838 or reserve a spot online at queenfieldgolf.com and make Queenfield Golf Club your new favorite course.
This is advertising material.
Businesses have a responsibility to keep you safe. Patch the pothole, fix the broken step, light the parking lot, mop the floor, and put up a sign. When they skip those basics and someone gets hurt, that's negligence. If you slipped, tripped, or fell on someone else's property, Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys want to hear from you. Call 877-222-6666 or visit alexwins.law for your free case evaluation. alexwins.law.
This is advertising material. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Every case is different. Philip George is licensed attorney in Virginia, is responsible for legal work. Office is located in Norfolk.
If you want to talk Braves baseball,
here comes some late night dynamite here at Truist Park.
There's only one place in town to turn for all the action. 106.1 ESPN, bringing you nonstop Braves action all season long.
High in the air, deep to left field. That's a long gone daddy.
Presented by our friends at Park and Go. Richmond wanted local sports talk in the morning, and we Fitz the Bill. Back now on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Michael Lombardi, come on down. You're the next contestant in Bad Decisions Made by Bill Belichick.
Long list.
It's perfect.
So breaking-ish news came out right around when the show started. I love The Price is Right.
Drum roll.
I've got to read this. This is verbatim. This is from an email from UNC, the school, not the athletics. Worth noting, this is from the school, not athletics. The University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill has placed Michael Lombardi, general manager for the Carolina football program, on paid administrative leave effective immediately. As is standard procedure with personnel matters, leadership, staff, and student athletes are prohibited from addressing this topic further and has no reflection on the merits. I don't really know what that last paragraph means. However,
It
I know
means,
what the
hey, look,
first
we didn't
paragraph
do
means.
this. Bill hired this guy. We're just going to clean it up, okay? Don't ask no questions.
So back in October, Pablo Torre did an entire deep dive of who is Michael Lombardi, and like
Pablo Torre,
bro,
he's an undercover Duke Blue Devil.
I loved it. It was one of the funniest podcasts I've ever listened to because it was like, well, did you know Lombardi claims this? And then they like dove into it and it was just all wrong. He lied about everything. Apparently there was a season with the Patriots where the Patriots front office essentially forced Michael Lombardi out of the franchise, and Bill Belichick still would consult with him because he's just friends with Lombardi, ride or die, I guess. And then the Patriots won the Super Bowl that year, and Bill Belichick bought Michael Lombardi a replica Super Bowl ring so he would have one. And Michael Lombardi claims he's won 3 Super Bowl titles, but has never officially been a part of any of the teams that won a Super Bowl title. Make that make sense.
Yeah.
And now he's a failed general manager with UNC. And you know what was funny at ACC kickoff? The amount of pomp and circumstance around the Tar Heels last year compared to this year. No one cared about UNC. No one gave a flying about UNC. Last year, that was the talk of it. Oh my goodness, blah, 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 blah. This year, they put UNC on the final day of ACC kickoff, and half of Radio Row was gone for the final day because they'd already seen their teams, right? You come down for Radio Row, depending on what your budget might be, you're only there for a day or two, maybe 2.5, whatever it is. I left right after my show on Friday because guess what? I didn't care about UNC. That's such a far cry from what it was a year ago. And it's a dumpster fire down there in Chapel Hill. Good luck, guys. Good luck, Tar Heels. That's all I got to say on that one.
Yeah, I was just looking at Bill's buyout and everything. Don't mind me. Highest paid general manager in college athletics.
Yeah. It's crazy to me that they did not learn their lesson. UNC being the they there did not learn their lesson, Alan, by hiring Bill Belichick, and then they go out, who'd they hire for their men's basketball coach? A fired fit, and Michael Malone. I think he's a good coach. I don't know how he's going to be at UNC.
I don't know how he's going to be with the kids. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, he's known to be like a harsh, aggressive, gruff guy. Mm-hmm. You just hired one with Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
And now you're going and doing it again with Michael Malone, man.
I don't know what UNC's got going on, man. But
so you want to hear Marquise Williams, a former UNC quarterback?
Yeah, what did he say? Because I saw he tweeted out some stuff.
His profile is protected, so someone took screenshots of it. Mm-hmm. Right when the news broke, people called me crazy. People turned on me when I spoke my mind. People said I'm hating, I'm a nobody. The truth always comes to light, moving in the right direction. Yeah, him and Michael Lombardi weren't the best of friends there when they first got there. So Michael Lombardi, GM, has been placed on administrative leave, paid administrative leave.
Is it true he tried to get Jordan Hudson banned from the facilities?
Apparently, he does not like Jordan Hudson, which probably is the only good thing going for Michael Lombardi. But Bill Belichick, this is from Brian Murphy. Brian Murphy works for WRAL, which is a NBC affiliate in Raleigh. Brian Murphy tweeted, Bill Belichick held 3 availabilities that I was present for at ACC kickoff. That's likely the local media availability, the breakout room, and the press conference. So 2 of the 3 he is obligated to go to. He spoke many words, not mentioned once in those 3 availabilities, according to Brian Murphy of WRAL. Michael Lombardi. Now, he might have spoken about Lombardi and other avails that I wasn't at, but he didn't get asked about Lombardi nor bring him up unprompted. So maybe this had been known for quite some time. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff happened in Chapel Hill.
I think
it's just an absolute dumpster fire.
I think the best thing going for them right now is that I guess some news is good news. People at least paying attention to him in the headlines for all the wrong reasons. But
I guess, man.
How much money are they going to waste in this endeavor on the football program?
Man, it's crazy. Like, so later this week, I'm going to do ACC previews for all the teams I talked to, everything like that. Go over what my ACC preseason ballot was, players of the year, everything like that. I do want to give a quick little spoiler to my ACC ballot. Guess where I had UNC in my ACC predicted order of finish?
Second to last?
It's last.
Last?
I got them 17th out of 17th. Nothing that they have done this offseason. This just adds to it. This puts more fuel on the fire. Nothing they've done this offseason.
Even under Boston College.
Hey, I'll talk to Boston College. I got hope in my guy, Mason McKenzie. I got hope in my D2 transfer. Represent the GLIAC, man.
No,
represent Trinidad Chambliss from the GLIAC. Represent.
I understand, but man, you know Trinidad.
Hey, he might be better. You right? You right. I got Boston. Spoiler alert: Boston College 13th. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 teams below him.
That's a lot of faith.
Hey,
I like it.
Hey, they could win a couple of games.
They could.
I got them above Florida State.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with that at all.
I got no good vibes from Florida State.
I don't like Florida State at all either, man. I would love to be wrong about them, but I'm definitely going into the season pessimistic.
As you probably should.
Still better place than North Carolina.
Hey, that's the dang truth, ain't it, man? That's a full-on dumpster fire. They just threw some more fuel on it too. I don't even like, just utterly insane. I'm excited to see what this is all about. Because the fact this came from not UNC football, not UNC athletics, this came from the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. Like that, something is going on down there in Chapel Hill. Excited to see what more comes out of it. All right, let's get a quick break in. Step aside. We'll be back to wrap up this Monday edition. First one back from vacation right here on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Fitz the Bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond. Back in just a moment.
Bon Air Shell has been serving the RVA community for 20 plus years, providing service with a smile and technicians you can trust. Family owned and operated, 8762 Huguenot Road.
Golf season is here. Whether it's your first round of the year or the next round, make sure you're playing it at Hunting Hawk Golf Club. We're offering special pricing this summer on outings for civic organizations, churches, kids' athletic teams, or your own special fundraiser. Also, now is the time to start signing up for your fall golf outings. For more information or to book a tee time, give us a call at 804-749-1900 or visit online at huntinghawkgolf.com.
Horse racing is back, and it's time to get ready for another Triple Crown season. Get the latest from the industry every Saturday morning from 10 to 11 with Off to the Races on 106.1 ESPN. Presented by The Racing Biz. Nick Hahn and Frank Vespi bring you their insight and knowledge, talking with the people making the headlines, including jockeys, trainers, and owners. Plus, get the expert picks each week, including a visit by Derby Bill Watson. It's Off to the Races each Saturday morning at 10 on 106.1 ESPN. Streaming live on the iHeartRadio app.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-498-6548. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-498-6548. That's 800-498-6548. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
No national voices. No syndicated takes. Just Richmond's own morning sports talk. Fits the bill on 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Oh, another free one. Thanks, dog. You always hook me up.
Another hour of the fun stuff on deck.
Another one of your nonsensical rambling stories.
And another round for everyone on me. I don't want to hear another peep.
Okay, all right, here's another one.
Another thing before we get up on out of here on this Monday morning. Patrick Mahomes, he's been cleared for practice, Alan. I was going to ask Mike Golick Jr. about it, but I didn't want to bring down the vibes overall. I am still, even though he is cleared on July 27th for practice, I still am not sure how this man is going to be playing week 1, 2, 3, 4, the first month of this season. And I do still worry that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to miss the playoffs again, because when you look at the list of skill position players that they have, none of them really inspire confidence outside of one MVP, Super Bowl MVP, that is, in Kenneth Walker. I just don't think they have what it takes skill position-wise to set themselves up for success this upcoming season. And that's with an injured Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I had to Google it because obviously Brady's career was very, very long, but I couldn't recall a time he missed the playoffs as the primary starter when he was healthy.
He never did.
Yeah, so I would imagine Patrick Mahomes will have the same record. So if he starts the season healthy, they're not missing the playoffs.
Technically, they would have missed the playoffs last year if he had stayed healthy.
Yeah, if he had to stay healthy, but he didn't. So guess what?
Guess what? We can strike that from the record.
So strike it from the record, man. If he starts this season upright and Game 1, I think they'll make the playoffs. Now, how that looks, I don't know. I don't have them as the team to win the division. I think the Broncos are the team to win the division,
or the Chargers.
I think if man has a chance if they stay healthy.
Okay, look, can I give an excuse to if man?
Yeah, I mean that's what he's there for.
All right. He has two of the best tackles in the game, Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt. Yeah. Guess how many those two players combined to play last season?
Yeah, I'm not calling him if man and docking him for one season. It's his entire career.
It's his entire career that he has had injuries all around.
Yeah. If
all right, you could
Tyrod hadn't got stabbed in the lung, he wouldn't even have started early.
Exactly.
So what do we?
You know what's so crazy? Excuses. He had more success under Anthony Lynn than he had under Brandon Staley.
Anthony Lynn actually wasn't a bad coach.
I know.
His downfall was that he just was too headstrong and reluctant to make adjustments.
Yeah, and then Brandon Staley, his flaw was that he wasn't headstrong enough, and that he'd go for it on fourth down one week, not go for it on the next week. How are you supposed to win with that?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now he's got Harbaugh, and he's going to win a Super Bowl in the next 5 years.
But I think as long as Andy Reid remains flexible, they'll be fine. I gotta give him one more year. Okay. He's earned it.
I agree, but you know when you're like looking at something, you raise one eyebrow.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely side eyeing him.
Yeah, hey, bro, you lost that fastball, huh?
Yeah, because you still my guy, Andy. But if I don't see adjustments, and by adjustments, if I see weeks where they're struggling to move the ball offensively, and it's the same stagnant, boring Big Ten back in the day offensive style
with Kenneth Walker.
I mean, I'd rather Kenneth Walker than Pacheco, but yeah, if Kenneth Walker is just running into walls, we're going to have an issue. I'm going to call it out.
I love Kenneth Walker. I think he was a deserved Super Bowl MVP, all of that. As a Seahawks fan, I have been front and center for a lot of Kenneth Walker stuff. If they tried to run Kenneth Walker, they did the way they did with Isaiah Pacheco, he's not going to work.
Yeah.
Because he's an extremely explosive running back, but he's kind of got that Barry Sanders in him, where Barry Sanders had a tendency to run away from the line of scrimmage before running towards the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a home run running back.
And so like if you ain't giving him the holes to run into, guess what he's gonna do? Hit bounce.
Yeah.
Hit bounce.
There's guys like that for sure that they just want to get the big yardage. They don't really go for the 2 to 3 yards here and there.
No, he would rather have 50 yards once rather than 10 5-yard runs.
But I mean, you mentioned Barry Sanders. When I think of Barry Sanders, I think of vision first, because his vision was just absolutely insane. He was like he was in the Matrix.
Yeah.
Kenneth Walker's got good vision too.
Yeah, he does.
So I mean that style of back, because I know people hear Barry Sanders like you compared him to Barry Sanders. No. The style of back is definitely still relevant in today's league. And I hope Andy recognizes that, and I hope Andy doesn't try to compartmentalize him into being a Pacheco or anything like that. He had a couple backs like that. He had Brian Westbrook. He had LaShawn McCoy. Like he knows guys.
He knows what to do.
Yeah, guys with vision and what kind of space they need to really get down.
And they wouldn't have signed him if they weren't planning to do that with him.
Yeah.
Like it's as simple as that.
But
I'm just intrigued to see how it all works out, considering that Rashee Rice is in jail.
Nah, Rashee Rice got cleared to play.
All right, my bad. Rashee Rice out of jail, but he was rehabbing a knee in jail.
Yeah, but he got cleared to play. And plus he jogged out the jail running from the paparazzi guys. So I think he's fine.
Sure. Kind of like Cam Scotabo doing backflips, doing fine.
Yeah, The Scatterwood thing was awful, and we didn't even get to that. Did you see Harbaugh trying to hype them up? We're the Giants.
Did you see the team they didn't have on their game jerseys? They had on these loose-fitting jerseys, the offensive line, and they all looked like they were me and you walking around.
Listen to me. When I say this from the bottom of my heart, this Giants Harbaugh thing reeks of
better work.
Yeah, nah, man. It reeks of letdown. It reeks of letdown, man. I don't like it at all.
Pete Carroll in the Las Vegas Raiders last season. It better work.
Give me all the Cowboy, Commanders, and Eagle stock you can give me, man. I don't think the Giants are making the moves that people think they want to make.
I think I'm out on the Giants.
I'm not loving it at all. And we still honestly have no updates on Malik Neighbors.
We just got one.
Oh, we did?
He probably won't be ready to go week 1, but he probably won't open the season on the physically unable to perform list, which means he'll be available sometime during the first 4 weeks.
That's not good, man.
So
he should have been ready to go.
Good luck.
Yeah, he should have been ready to go.
Thumbs up. Good luck. All right, that'll do it for Fitz the Bill on this Monday morning. Keep it locked right here, 106.1 ESPN Richmond, where Richmond talks sports. Tomorrow we've got Lori Warren, track president over there at the Richmond Raceway. She's joining us in studio at 9 a.m. Frank Hoff also joining us at around 9:30 tomorrow. You don't want to miss it. He's from Colonial Downs. Plus, later on this week, Chip Patterson, some ACC previews, ACC preseason ballot discussion. Plus, we're going to talk about best sports movies of all time. I had a riveting conversation at the beach about this. Best sports movie of all time, best sports movie actor of all time. It's worth conversating about. That's coming up later this week as well. Keep it locked right here, Mid-Major Match Show at 4 p.m. right here, 106.1 ESPN Richmond.
Your home for Richmond Spiders athletics all year round. W291CL Lakeside Richmond. WURV HD2 Richmond. We are 106.1 ESPN.